Okay, finally getting to the bottom of this fuel pressure issue with this Chevrolet 454. There are three things at play here, and that's why it's taken so long. The first one is a blocked air filter, and that was giving an undulating up and down revving at idle, and that was confusing with the fuel pressure problem. So that was happening at the same time as the reading on the fuel pressure gauge was dropping. So that's the first thing, is the air filter. The second thing are these fuel pressure gauge, and this is the main problem for the fuel pressure problem. The gauge has a type of fluid inside, and when I drained that fluid, I got a correct reading over 20 minutes at idle. So what I did was I drained the fluid from the fuel pressure gauge, and that gave it a constant reading of 6 psi. Okay, that will not focus, but that's a Marshall fuel pressure gauge. This is another gauge. It's not a Marshall. It's I think it's SBBS or something like that. And you can see there that it's got a liquid in it, very thick liquid. What happens is when it heats up, it gives a false reading. So the vacuum goes down. It goes down to 0. But they're both the same design. And you just unplug that plug there, get the oil out. That's some oil there. I'll put that into a container. It does dissolve in fuel, so that's the other main problem. Okay, the third problem is air getting in the fuel line from the tank. Somewhere between here and the tank, probably around the tank area, there's air getting in. That air's coming through and into the fuel line, so we'll be able to see the air getting in here under the car here. This comes from the tank, this line here, and this one goes up to the carburetor. So we should be able to see air flowing in and going up to the carburetor. So I'll start the car up now. Okay, she's running fantastically. Listen to this. So there's no air getting in the air lines anymore. Fantastic, problem solved. I was getting fuel in the air lines, but 1 or 2 weekends ago I renewed this L joint here. So that's like a breathing tube, ventilation tube. Apart from that, I really haven't done anything. Can't quite put my finger on why. A couple of videos ago there was air getting in the fuel lines, but anyway, it's fixed now, and she's very healthy. Okay, well, now that the car's been idling for about 15 minutes, I can see the old symptoms come back. This time we've got good fuel pressure. However, we can see air is getting into the lines from the tank, so Okay, so in solving this problem, I'm finding the problems from the actual carburetor, which is the air filter. Then next down the line we've got the fluid in the fuel pressure gauge, and now somewhere after enough use, once the engine's been running long enough, we've got a restriction and air's getting in the maybe in the air tank or the fuel line somewhere. So I have to drop the fuel tank and investigate further.